Hi. It appears I've screwed up. My apologies. I'm a day late posting your first midterm. So what I'm going to do is give you an extra weekend with it. It was initially to be due on the Friday. Now I've changed the deadline to Monday, which is February 11th, to give you some additional time for it. Now, on the midterm, you'll find a total of 6 questions, three on Socrates, three on Aristotle. It's what I would like you to do is read these questions carefully. Most of them ask you to do sort of one or two things. So, for example, with the first question, discussed on the video lectures was a conception of Socrates' ethical position stemming from the nature of his wisdom, which we discussed in terms of intellectual integrity. Briefly explain this conception and how it evolves from Socrates' epistemology or theory of knowledge. Right. So what I've done in this question, for example, is given you a few cues. Right. Conception of Socrates' ethical position. Right. So the ethical position is what you're aiming for, and it stems from the nature of his wisdom. Right. You should ask yourself, what is the nature of Socrates' wisdom? Or, put another way, why is he the wisest man in Athens? Right? So, what I want you to do in this question is explain his ethical position and how it relates to or emerges from his theory of knowledge or the nature of his wisdom. Right. So that'll give you a breakdown of one of the questions. Now, when you notice the exam posted to Moodle, you'll find this statement. I encourage you to use all the intellectual resources at your disposal to understand this material. But when you submit your responses to the questions below, your responses should reflect an individual effort and be in your own words. Please refer to the course syllabus and the policy on plagiarism and ensure that your responses comply with academic integrity standards. So, with regard to that, well, basically what I want to say is that if you're using something external to the class, right, and external to your own thoughts, right, throw a reference on it. It's all there for you to use. But largely what you're graded on is your synthetic understanding of the material. Right, so what gets the grades is not that you've pulled out the correct quotations from the text or the correct passages from Wikipedia, even if you reference that. It's your discussion of these positions. A quotation, a passage from somewhere else, should only be used to illustrate your understanding. Right. Then there is another caveat on that as well. Also recall that these are longer answer questions and require a minimum, I stress the word minimum, of 2 paragraphs for response to each. This is to be a writing intensive course, so largely what I've just told you how to do there with a 2 paragraph response is how to get a C. Right? I'm sure you don't all want C's. You want a better grade than that. So what I will suggest is that you answer the question until it's answered. Explore the positions, right, to the extent that you can. Think about them every which way. And I'm giving you a little better than a week on this exam, so you should be able to come up with a fairly well-reasoned and well-thought-out response. Give yourself plenty of time on these questions as well, and be sure to break the questions down into their various parts. You see I've done that in bold for you, and answer them completely. All right, and if you have any questions whatsoever, please send me an email. And again, the due date for this exam is not the 8th, it's the 11th. All right, so hopefully that will make up for my scheduling error. Sadly, I was out of town on research this weekend. All right, so yeah, please contact me if you have any questions whatsoever, and enjoy the exam to the extent that's possible. All right, cheers.